Okay, good morning and welcome to Mo Knows featuring me, Monica Mo Justice. I heard me in the playback, so that means something is not muted. I'm somewhere. Okay. If you were here earlier, well, I think it's Wednesday morning. So if you was on or you watched the live stream from Tuesday, um, evening, I forgot what it's called. It's probably like mentirosa. Mentirosa. Mentira. Anyway, I had a guest come on the platform to discuss issues. And the guest was Kelly, so that's why her name is in the title. She charged me with going back and looking through a video to where I mentioned her. So it's kind of funny because she said I said something and I'm still chuckling, right? Because I remember when I first arrived here to YouTube and I started going into what would be what do they call the channels over here? It's like kind of like in the manosphere, but I don't know what that sector is. But I could tell you who belongs to that sector. Like Rainian Woman would be like one of the channels I picked up. JT would be one of the channels I picked up from being in that environment. Bomb Cherry is over there. So in that grouping, Cafe, Mocha Cafe, those are the channels that I watch in that sector or that I'm familiar with from that sector. So that particular sector, they used to make a statement. If it don't apply, let it fly, right? If it don't apply, then let it fly. And they used to have to say that when they said statements that they really didn't have an attendant person, but somebody might feel like they were speaking on them. So they use that statement. So I sat here to listen and hear what were the issues. And I think I really heard the issues. But I did go back to listen because I wanted to see why I would say somebody was sad and snoozy. Um, I don't understand why people don't get my humor when they watch me so much, but oops, there it is. I guess you really can't have a humor when you're taking it personal. Don't take it personal. All right. I'm looking for an email because I'm looking for a date because as I went through the video, so I went back and I looked for what she said. And I also went to look for the context of what I felt. All right. I'm gonna say this. I'll do it when I play it back. But for a brief summary, I'm looking for one person's text message because I know the details is the answers are in the details. So one of the things that happened, and good morning to all the DU recorders that hooked on to me to capture this so they could replay it later on, but whatever. I look at the situation, and from my perspective, I listen to what a person says because the truth is in what they don't say. Okay. When Kelly was on the platform, she was meticulous to point out which videos she made in the past, let's say 6 months, just giving it a broad window. And none of the videos were about me until she heard Sad and Snoozy over here and believed that was about her. So it prompted her to go live. That was a lie. Okay. People then on the chat over here screaming, she's deleting videos. She's deleting videos. She deleted videos. So I'm going to say this. I don't know what platform she did the video on, but I'm assuming. Satsuma, are you out here? Satsuma. I should have texted Satsuma to ask her. Not text her. I should have emailed Satsuma because I don't want you to think. Just keeping it jiggy. I should have emailed Satsuma to ask her about this, because the incident, Kelly, that we're talking about, where you were talking about me, is something you were saying about my teeth somewhere, somehow. And let me tell you what day you were saying it on. All right, so I'm going to go to the beginning of the year. So this is January 1st. I remember it was a day I was on the phone doing some things with my channel when I started receiving some text messages asking me if I was all right, because people thought I had been in a car accident. Okay, so this was on Sunday, January 9th. That was the day, Sunday, January 9th. Let us all be clear. Sunday, January 9th was a day I received messages throughout here asking me if I had been in a car accident. So here's the thing. The folks that was listening to whatever was being stated by Kelly and company on whatever platform she was at on January 9th, and it was because she was talking about my teeth. Somebody, Satsuma, in the chat wrote, Mo was in a car accident. So because these people don't really know me or know my history, they thought I was in a car accident like on that day. So I started to receive text messages about being in a car accident on that day, January 9th, which incidentally is 3 days and however many years later from when I was in a car accident. But nevertheless, that's what was going on. That's when I was being spoken on. And that's the information I was referring to in this video, which comes later on. Now, what I'm going to say is, yeah, we want views and clues or whatever, views and twos around here. So I'm now convinced that people are watching me from beginning to end, beginning, because you could tell from the point in the video. So in the video that Kelly was referring to, I believe you hear the comment about Sad and Snoozy around 1 hour, 9 minutes into the video. You further go into it, 1 hour, 19 minutes, you hear me speaking on some more stuff. And then it is sometime thereafter that you see her in the video that her and Reckless are sharing out, which subsequently became another talking point for them. They recorded that part of it to play that part. So they've been around for the whole, at least last hour of video, where they're listening in. So they're coming from different, they've been there long enough to hear this stuff. So there'll be no misunderstandings what's going on. But when asked, that's the situation that transpired. There was a video somewhere, somehow. All that matters, it was on January 9th. And it had to be from New York Times. It was about 1:00 New York time. So it's about 9 a.m., 10 a.m. West Coast time on a Sunday. So run that video, or what platform that was on. The videos in question now on my end are from this year. Okay, so let me just go back and find this video, put this video up so y'all can hear it in its context. And then I'll come back and I'll just be like, what I really think. I probably won't do what I really think, because what I really think is that folk should stop watching. One of the reasons why I'm not really angry with folks most of the time around here is because I don't watch this stuff. I don't watch what they say. It bothers many of y'all, but it don't really amount to anything to me. Again, what you eat don't make me shit, and what you think don't make me rich. All right, so let me just see how I'm gonna do this. I wasn't watching the chat, but I know who came in and said what. I hate this mouse. Something got to give with this damn mouse. I need a different mouse pad. That's what this is. I need one of those textured mouse pads. I saved y'all some hurt and pain today. I pulled it up to the area at the area of interest, kind of, sort of. I'm gonna go back a couple of minutes. All right. I am going to share. Where the hell is it? Just sad and it's no, it's sad and snoogey. It's sitting around here and fucking mad and drunk. All right, so this is the section that she probably played. So let us go back to the context of it. And that's about it. I moved the financial discussion to next Friday. It's not going to change because it's still, it was a process that we're going to go through, that I wanted to go through on the live. But what this week has really proven to me is that I am moving in the right direction. And I'm not mad at myself for taking myself in these directions. I'm not mad at all. And that's about it. I open it up to the chat, comments, concerns. I do think I want to have another influencers meeting though. Shit, fuck that. I love me. You fucking kidding me? Like, and I'm saying that honestly to some people because maybe nobody told you today that they love you. Because they nobody wake up this morning and say, hey Mo, I love you. That's a lie though. Because when I went and opened my door and there's the money right there, right? That I already said I'm good. I'm good. That shit says to me, yo, I love you. Like that's love. That's like, yo. So nobody had to say it in words. Sometimes actions speak louder than words. But at the end of the day, that shit is just crazy. That shit is just mad crazy. And you know what? Like that shit is mad crazy. So yeah. But if you wake up and nobody's told you, look in the mirror and tell your motherfucking self, I love you. Or like, bitch, I love you. Like all the time. I love me. I love who I am. And there's some bitch right now, just hey, shout out to you. Which is sad and it no, it's sad and snoogey. Is sitting around here and fucking mad and drunk about it early in the morning because a bitch like me woke up this morning and was in favor. See, a lot of people around here want you to believe that they live in these beautiful fucking houses when they got nothing going for them, inside or out. It's hard sometimes, but you're a strong and beautiful person. It is always good to reflect and be grateful for how far you have come and the achievements you've made. Thank you, Miss G. That's a lot there that you wrote in a statement. And that's not coming from somebody that's trying to butter me up. It's coming from somebody that's watched this side of the journey and heard me tell the story about that side of the that side of the road that I was on. Yeah, I love me to death. It wasn't always like that. I looked for people to love me. When I got here to the YouTube, I didn't want none of y'all to love me. All right, let me just take it down from there. I'm gonna stop there. I think it speaks for itself in its entire context. I think it speaks for itself. I spoke on loving myself, waking up, being happy, and other people waking up being miserable. So it all depends on how you look at it, how you take it. But if the shoe fits, lace them up and run with them, jog around with them. Otherwise, the flip side of this would be if it don't apply, you should let it fly. I said it was sad when you see it is really sad for me to see women hate on other women so openly. It's not, it is a broad statement that if you are the person doing that, you would feel offended by it because it's a broad enough statement to make a person feel offended by it. I'm not gonna stop being who I am, making the little snazzy jokes and whatever it is that I do. I'm not gonna stop that. I've adopted the nickname Dead and Bougie. I like that one. Shout out to the trolls Slayer, or whatever the fuck y'all got her as. You know, she got names for all of y'all. I have a list somewhere. Y'all know I got a list somewhere. Of them, so I could keep up and know who the characters are. So at the end of the day, that's a statement stated based on that moment in the video where I'm talking about loving myself and other people not loving themselves enough that they wake up with me on the dome. That's that. Let's go on to the other section. That's her point. She's entitled to interpret the video in her own way and feel however she feels about the video. If you don't watch me, then right then and there, you wouldn't feel any kind of specific way because that's not any kind of specific thing to you. Especially if on your end, you contend you're not sad and snoogey somewhere. You're not drunk. Like if all those things don't apply to you, and that's not what we're seeing from you, then it shouldn't bother you. Because it's not applicable to you. If someone's not talking about you and your behavior because you don't identify with it, then you shouldn't have a problem with it. As I said earlier, when I gave y'all a piece of my life story, and people that think harlot ways, right? When you think like a hoe, you talk like a hoe. So you looked at my story from a whole perspective, a whore, the whore, la hora. When you looked at it from a whore's perspective, you seen it from a whore's perspective. I can't stop you from visualizing my event in my life from a whore's perspective, if that's the only perspective you have. The only time a man has given you some money is because in exchange for your jewels, what's between your legs. I don't know what to tell you. That's not been my story, and that's not been how it works out here with the Queens girls. Maybe it's just a Queens girl thing, right? We don't have to give up to get up. But you know, that's just my perspective on it. So I gave y'all my perspective on it. And I understand that y'all took it to your perspective because you don't know a different lifestyle or it doesn't make sense to you. And I don't know what to tell you. I guess you had to be here in the 80s and the 90s, watch how the game goes down, watch how I matured, watch what I did in the midst of shit, watch why I got the respect I got, and then you can understand why I got the play I got. You wasn't there. You don't know these players. I'm just trying to retell a story to get you into a setting, but I can't get you into a setting if everything around you is corrupt. I can't get you into a setting if I'm explaining to you what fam means to me, right? That story is conveying what it means to me when people say that's the fam, and I am juxtaposing it against the people here that call each other the fam. Like, what would you really do if you had to do something for somebody as the fam? And what we learned on here is that most of the time people will do something, but it's for something. That's not how the fam works for me. So I just gave an example that came out of my day. And honestly, as I look back at that video, I was very emotional and appreciative because I know that I'm still being taken care of, not on the level that I would have been taken care of, but just to know that people acknowledge. And that's just it. Wasn't meant to be a Mo story time the addendum, the epilogue, the prelogue. It wasn't intended to do all of that, but that's where we are at. Anyway, moving on to the other part of the video that I believe I've already explained, but just to give again the context. I swear I hate this thing. Oh, you know what? I don't even have to do that. That's what I'll do. I always gotta be thinking around here. Okay, so this should get easier now. Where's the Zoom at? It should have made this thing more clearer. All right, here we go. I still don't want I still don't want some of this love that's around here because it's fake. It's phony. And at the end of the day, it don't serve me no good because you don't really mean it. And then when you get in your people that hate you in real space like this. But you know why? Because I'm the baddest bitch that ever lived on here. And you know, see the queen right there? She's the most powerful piece on the board. I'm the most powerful piece in this game. Mo facts. Say I lie, I wait. Say I motherfucking lie. Most powerful piece in this game. And that's because y'all can't give up. Not me. Got nothing to do with me. Hey, the real Yvonne. If you make one video about my life, one video, you come up here drunk as a skunk and you're talking about me, and then people start calling me, talking about, Monica, you in a car accident, are you okay, or whatever. I'm like, no, where y'all getting this from? Somebody's on the YouTube talking about me at that moment. Bitch, I win. Checkmate, I win. Every time you go live talking about me, I win. Another bitch over there, another one over there, right? Every time you talk about me. So I got one bitch that's talking about me that ain't been nowhere. She ain't going nowhere. She ain't never gonna be shit. She ain't never gonna do shit. She ain't about shit. Okay? So she ain't going nowhere. And I am not even thinking about her, right? So it's just a moment. she's got crumbs falling off her fucking table. And then there's some people running around just picking them up and they give me the crumbs, right? There's another bitch over here that's promoting me. And I be like, thank you very much. Because as you promote me, I grow. I think that they're learning, but it's hard because right now I'm just saying, are you watching me now and you're hearing me say this shit and you're feeling like I'm talking to you? So her allegation earlier was that I lied when I said that somebody was speaking on me in the morning. So as we could tell in the clip that I talked about somebody being sad and snoozy, I was talking about it in the context of me self-loving myself. So nothing there was about somebody talking about me. So that's why we're at this part of the video, because this is where she identifies with whomever these characters are I'm speaking on. She identifies as being one of these characters. And the reason why she identifies as being one of these characters is because she knows she was on a live talking about me where people thought I was in an accident right then and there. So it was so real, her anger towards me, that they honestly thought something had happened to me in real time at that time. She thinks she's either one of these folks here, either one of these characters, and I'm not going to mislead her. You very well, if the shoe fits, lace it up and jog around the YouTube with it. And that's what y'all do. I'm not going to stop you from doing that. So if that's the hypocritical part, no, continue on. Continue on. It says more about you than what it says about me. I'm going to be good. That's about it. And that's for anybody else that believes that they're interpreting this stuff and they're taking it any kind of way or whatever. I don't come up here on the YouTube and make what somebody used to tell me, I don't write checks on this motherfucker that I can't cash. I don't make promises I can't keep. I'm not going to sit up here and tell somebody I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do that. If there's a possibility, I could do it. Carry on. Such is life. Y'all make these promises every day. And y'all go through these, what Karen dubs as peace treaties, right? Because they bring you life later down the road. I am disconnect. I'm like the telephone company. Don't pay your motherfucking bill. You get disconnected. Get a new number. That's what I'm saying to folks. I'm into the disconnect game. Get a new number. Maybe I'll view you differently. That's why I say if you don't like the way your character is portrayed in my story, change the way your character behaves. Anyway, let's just see what this wonderful lady right here has to say in wrapping this up. And the worst thing about all of these bitches, you want to know the worst thing about all these bitches? We're all motherfucking Leos. Okay. Let me tell you something about my time on this YouTube. Ain't that about a bitch? But I'm still the baddest piece in y'all game. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that because I think that's what it is, the baddest piece in the game. For the most part, that when I've been up here on the YouTube, my hardest folks to have a dispute with have all been Leos. When you go back and you hear things, go back and ask a person, what's her astrological sign? And you will see it's Leo. So it has always been a problem for me. It's not nothing new. If I meet another one of y'all on here and you tell me you're Leo, I'm running to the border. I'm getting out of here quickly. I'm leaving. I'm abandoning ship. Get out of here. Get out of here. That's what I'm gonna do. Good morning to the chat. That's just basically where I'm at with what occurred. So I think that the bottom line is, if it applies, do what you do. If it don't apply, then you should have let it fly. To assist in that process, you should unsubscribe. You should unsubscribe. This is not a healthy environment for you to be in. And for me to directly say that to you is me being the best woman that I could be. And you know, there are times when I'm just like, she said, go watch my video and that's it. And I said, no, that's not a healthy thing for me to do. I can assure you, I don't hate you at all. I don't want to watch, and this is just me personally, I don't want to watch any more women on here self-destruct. I hate to see snot nose crying over other women up here. I respect what you brought to the table at the time we was at the table together. I respect what I heard from you today about where you saw us going collaboratively. And I appreciate that you saw me in that light. Actually, I liked you too. I really did. I thought you had substance. I thought you were a lot of things positive. Sometimes when we're in denial of that thing that's bringing us down, we don't want to hear about it from other people. I'm not your friend like that to be the person to speak on you like that. So it's kind of hard, and I understand that. And maybe it's not my place. But I tell you guys all the time, the you guys as being the people on the internet. I've shared with my community many times how I feel about women who drink. And that's about it. I can't lead a horse to water and make them drink it. But I can certainly not participate in its destruction. Very creative person, Kelly. Very creative person. I enjoyed the time that I spent with you when I spent it with you. I got into trouble for you. I took some hits because of you. You tried to protect me in your environment because you know I didn't know what I walked into, what minefield I had gotten into. I didn't know your backstory, and you made it very clear this when you was on the platform earlier that I did not know your backstory, and I'm not judging you in that situation because of your backstory. I'm judging you on how you and I interacted. I'm judging you on how I saw you treat someone else. Now, although I could have established probably a better relationship with you and didn't, and you are absolutely correct when you say I could have called you because you offered it as an avenue, and I should have taken it. And the one thing I will walk away from this experience always saying, she offered the number, Monica. You should have taken it and utilized it. But you, Monica, was so afraid of the recorder that you didn't. Shame on you for that. Y'all know where that came from, but that's history. So, you know, bad decision on that part. And I think it probably led this to be more than what it was. And we could have had a good conversation that would have not led to all of this. To her credit, Kelly was one of the people that were interested in doing the journaling with me when most people were still shying away from it. I think she has good ideas, great ideas in terms of discussions about women. And you heard her say it up here. She said, I wanted to hear a perspective from a single woman, a married woman, whatever, whatever. The only problem, Kelly, is that first you got to know the people you want to go in business with. It was a bad business proposition because you had bad candidates, but it wasn't because your thoughts were, your plan was rooted in evil. It definitely wasn't. And that, is what it is. The flip side of things is that, unfortunately, we've gotten to a point where so many negative things have been stated that there's nothing that I can build from to say, let me forget about that. Let me forget that happened. I can't, because when a person doesn't know you that well and says that many horrible things about you or thinks that bad about you, where do you build a relationship from that point? You can't. So you have to move on. And I'm just going to be real, because I don't know any other way to be. And I don't think people are honest enough with folks up here. I've seen you, Kelly, do this over and over again. Want to revisit relationships that are not good for you because they were a good relationship when you started it. And I think that's a fault. Leos love hard, right? If you're a Leo, you know that. You love hard. It's not fake. If you take somebody in as being a motherfucking friend, you're gonna ride or die with them out, right? The only problem here is that sometimes the person that you're riding hard for wouldn't ride that hard for you. But in this case, I think they would ride that hard for you. But y'all just can't ride together because there's been a lot of hurt things that was said. And that is, there are unforgivable moments that you have crossed in the sand that you said you wanted to forgive. That's the behavior that we've seen out here. That shows that you are a good person. Don't get me wrong. It just means, but you've got the wrong people you want to be good to. You got to find the right people. You can hurt somebody in life, somebody you really care about, and then not be able to redeem yourself with them. The hardest thing to hear as a woman is, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. I used to speak to my girlfriends in my 20s and my 30s, and they would hear this shit all the time. And they would talk about this shit all the time. So broke up with me, and he said he loves me, but he's not in love with me. I used to be like, man, if I hear the motherfucking words, I'm gonna have a flying fucking fit. Why are you still there? Bye. That's just me. But I was coming from a position where I was loved unconditionally. So I couldn't understand it. I really couldn't understand it. But I knew it existed. And I think some people was in that phase of life. You got to let go of those people that love you, but they're not in love with you. That's friendships as well. You can have friendships that the people love you, they care about you, but they don't love you. They love you because you was once there. They loved what you once represented, what y'all once had together. But they're not in love to move on with anything. That's about it. Hopefully this closes this chapter. I agreed I would look at it. I it may have sounded like I agreed to go and look at her video, and I was very clear I was going to go look at my video to see what I said. Not how she interpreted, but to see what I said, to get an understanding of how she may have interpreted it, and to really negate the fact that there was no videos being made of me by the time this video came out last Saturday. And as I checked, last Saturday was not the 9th. Last Saturday was the 22nd. So this is still stuff brewing from the 9th, January 9th. When at some point I was being mentioned. Now, I don't know how I was being mentioned. I didn't care how I was being mentioned. And I know people feel a certain kind of way because I am not that into listening to a lot of bullshit around here. You are what you consume. I say that all the time as well. If you take in garbage, you give out garbage. Right now, I'm in a phase where I'm rebuilding some things, or I'm building some things, which I said. And I've been so inundated with that. I really haven't had the energy or the time to do anything else because I've been trying to do things to perfect the platform that I'm on. Because I do want to move differently. I hope that this closes that chapter in this event, and I'm gonna be more conscious of how I convey messages around here. But I can't help it if on the West Coast somewhere somehow somebody's waking up to me when it's 7 a.m. in the morning for me, and it's what is it, 4 a.m. in the morning for you, and they don't take my message the way that I needed as I presented it. That's about it. I cannot complain about how you guys interpret things for yourself, how you process things for yourself. I know it's wrong. I can tell you that it wasn't my intent, but that's how you critically think. Toodles to you. It's based on your experience and then the information that you're taking in. Can't dispute that. Understand where it comes from. Doesn't mean that it's my story. It's just your interpretation of my story. All right. So with that being said, any questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none. This is Mo. Oh, fuck this. This broadcast was brought to you by the M and the O. Speak to you later.